If one of our schools has made a fantastic map and done all the work behind the scenes and it's all working well, to share that so we're not doing the same work over and over again?
Yep, absolutely. We can export map layouts and import them into other systems, assuming that the same assessments exist, which is probably true for most of the standardized ones.
Because if one of us, like for PAT, if we're all using PAT comprehension, one person might as well do the work, and then with all the color code. Maybe it could be me.
Well,
maybe one person's done all the work.
Already has done all the work.
It's actually easier than that, because you don't need to apply those same maps to all the different schools. You can send it, for example, to us, or you can let us know that you've set this map up, and then we'll send out information to the other schools to say, this map is available if you want it, with some pictures of how it looks and what it can do. And then schools who say yes, they would like it, we can put it onto their system for them. When we set up the databases originally, there was a process that we went through to identify 15 or 20 different assessments, combination of PAT and PM and NAPLAN and ATE data and so on. And that was the master list, so to speak. I think there were some non-negotiables, obviously, like PAT and NAPLAN and ATE, and I think even PM benchmarking was part of that. But obviously, if you're not using that particular test at your school, then you don't need the map. There's no point, because there's never going to be any data put into it. So you can delete that map, and keep in mind that even if there is data there and you delete the map, you're not deleting the data. It's still saved in the background. But I can see that there probably is a need to have some sort of standardized reset, as you say, John, so that we make sure that everyone can look at the same data in a similar way. Catholic schools have been using GradeXpert for a year and a bit now, and putting it in initially with a standard setup gave you access to some of the data, but in reality, when you're using GradeXpert, every school uses it slightly differently. But the testing is fairly consistent across schools. The results that come out need to be put somewhere, and that needs to be put into GradeXpert. But if one school is saying, we've set up our PAT reading as term 3, and another school say, well, we've set up our PAT reading as semester 2 instead, that is where things start to become difficult in terms of consistently using color coding, because then we have to take into account term-based and semester-based assessments. This is all pointing towards the need for another review of all the data that's in there, and then perhaps just realigning it with the needs of the school and the Catholic Education Office itself, and then perhaps cleaning up all the data that's in there. So for example, if you've got 2019 semester 2 PAT data in your database, but we're expecting 2019 term 4, we can fix all that up for you. But I think that's a very good next step, because now you've had the year of using GradeXpert, certainly used it for reports and for some data gathering, but schools have kind of gone their own way a little bit, and now we'll just bring everyone back into the same view of the data, and if it requires GradeXpert or even the CEO to make sure every database is consistent, I mean, you're still going to have the flexibility to add your own tests in there that don't cover the general test. Yeah. That was actually how we started out last year. Every school had the same maps, every school had the same color coding, but obviously as time goes by you realize, well, that's not really suitable for us, so we're going to create our own map that's got slightly different ways of saving that data. By doing that, of course, things tend to get quite broken up. So this will be a good opportunity to just bring it all back into a standard view, standard map, standard color coding, standard assessments, while still giving you the ability to create your own tests that you may want to be tracking in school that aren't part of that standardized set of results that CEO can actually do some analysis on themselves.